Fettuccine and clam sauce is a marriage. It's a fantastic pasta dish. It happens to be my favorite sauce out of all types of pasta sauces. Even kids, adults, everybody of all ages loves clam sauce. And this happens to also be a very healthy alternative when it comes to a pasta dish. Hello folks, and welcome to the OceanState Cuisine. But before we go on with today's video, remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell notification down below of more delicious videos coming your way. It helps support the channel. So now there's so many different ways of making clam sauce. You can make a red sauce, which is a tomato-based sauce, which is what I'm going to be making today. You could also make a zuppa, you can make a white wine sauce, you can make an Alfredo clam sauce, the list goes on and on. So now let's go over the ingredients used in today's recipe. Now if I do leave something out, we'll definitely cover it through the course of today's video. So in the front, I have some fettuccine. On top of that, I have some anchovy paste. Anchovy paste adds delicious flavors, robust earthy tones to these types of seafood sauces. Then starting on the left side, we got some dry basil, some oregano, some minced garlic, some red wine, Old Bay seasoning, Hunt's tomato sauce. Make sure your tomato sauce is not flavored with meat or chicken. And then we have some baby whole clams. I like using these because they got the whole clam. They're just very, very small, but they have a delicious flavor. And then next to that, we have some ground black pepper, some salt, and some extra virgin olive oil. Now about the salt, I'm not going to be using hardly any salt while making the sauce. And the reason being is because the anchovy paste is loaded with sodium. If you are not using anchovy paste, then you might want to add some salt. But we'll go over that a little bit later. Ah, the ocean. Boy, do I miss it. Well, let's get cooking. Now, seeing it's just me here that's eating this, I'm not making a lot of sauce. So on about medium heat, we're going to add some extra virgin olive oil to the pot. And then in goes some minced garlic. So if you're using actual garlic cloves, just go by the amount that you like to use. I'm adding about a couple of teaspoons. Now for what I'm about to do next, I have to give a dedication to my late Uncle Mario. My late Uncle Mario was a fantastic cook, and he also had a charter fishing business. And when he made his clam sauce, it was delicious. And he used anchovy paste. Because clam sauce doesn't have a very strong flavor, and this kind of kicks it up a notch. But now seeing I'm making a small amount of sauce, you gotta be careful using anchovy paste, because as I said earlier, it can be very salty. And it comes in these like toothpaste type containers, and you just squeeze it out. And this is how much I'm adding to my sauce. It's not a lot. So now if you're making it for your whole family, of course you gotta use more. So now I'm just gonna give it a good stir. And then we're going to turn up the heat a little bit to about medium high. The reason for this is because the next thing going in is the red wine. Now normally for a lot of seafood dishes, if you do use wine, it's usually white wine. But seeing I'm using a tomato-based sauce here, or I'm making a tomato-based sauce, that's why I'm using the red wine. So as we could see, I'm not shy when it comes to using the wine. I probably used about a half a cup. And then we're going to let that simmer for about 30 seconds to make sure that some of that alcohol evaporates off and it reduces. And as we could see with my fingers there, I was just giving it a smell or a whiff. And now next what I did was that with a can opener, I made a couple of slits on the top of the can of the baby clams. What I'm going to do now is get the juice from these baby clams. We're going to add this now to our sauce. But we don't add the baby clams until way later because you don't want them to get tough and rubbery. So I'm going to place the can now inside the refrigerator until we're ready. So now what's a video without me forgetting something at the start? So we're also going to add a bottle of clam juice. Now, if you're making this for more people, of course you want to use more bottles. Clam juice is really what gives this the flavor, along with the anchovy paste. They really need to make an air freshener that smells like this. My kitchen smells amazing. So after giving it a nice stir, we're getting ready now to add our tomato sauce to it, which is the Hunt's. A clam sauce is a very thin, watery sauce. It's not a thick sauce like we see with the traditional meat sauces. And it's also not a sauce that simmers for hours. Most people cook it in like 20, a half hour, and it's pretty much done. So now next, it's time to season the sauce. So in goes some dry basil, and then next, the dry oregano. Oregano adds a great flavor to sauces. Now, if you don't have these two seasonings, you can use Italian seasoning. And then next, I'm going to hit it with some fresh ground black pepper. Now, when it comes to the salt, I'm not going to add any salt until I let this simmer for 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm going to taste it. And I'm going to see if it needs salt. If it does, then I'm going to adjust it from there. Now I'm just going to give it a nice stir, and that's pretty much it when it comes to seasoning up the sauce. Now we're going to bring it up to a simmer and then lower the heat to a low simmer, and I'm going to simmer mine for about 20 minutes. Next, it's time to cook the pasta. So we're going to get some water, add it to the pot, and we're going to bring it up to a boil. Whenever you're cooking spaghetti, fettuccine, linguine, all those kind of pastas, you want to cook it at a rapid boil. That's going to help it not stick together. And never add oil to the boiling water, because that repels the sauce from the pasta later on. That was a piece of advice given by the owner of Angelo's restaurant on Federal Hill. And what also helps with this is one of those pasta forks or pasta spoons that's got the little prongs on it, and you just vigorously go back and forth in between the pasta, and that helps also separate the noodles. And for clam sauce, well, for all pasta dishes, I really like mine al dente. I really like my pasta nice and firm. I actually started cooking the pasta about 10 minutes after simmering the sauce. So for the total time of 20 minutes for the sauce, our sauce is now ready to add the clams to. I actually made a clam sauce just the other night because I made this video about a couple of weeks ago. And I actually shut off the sauce first and then I added the clams. So you could do it any way because you don't need much heat and cooking time when it comes to the clams. So now our sauce is done cooking. And now it's time to add the sauce now to the pasta, because we want to add sauce to all the pasta just to help it where the pasta will not stick together. And then you could always add more sauce to each individual dish, because I like to make some extra to have some leftovers. So now here we are, folks, the finished product. Looks good, doesn't it? So here's our fettuccine and clam sauce with wine, anchovy paste, and all the fixings. Now, I never did add salt to mine because I also topped mine with Parmesan grated cheese, because Parmesan cheese also has quite a bit of sodium added to it. And then I also topped it with some parsley flakes. And if somebody ever says to you, you do not put grated cheese on seafood pasta dishes, say bullshit. It is totally fantastic. So I hope that this recipe helps, and I hope that you guys try this. And until the next time, thanks again for watching the OceanState Cuisine. Feel free to leave a comment down below, especially if you do try this. I want to see if you liked it. So until the next time, guys, you guys have yourself a fantastic day. Take care. Bye-bye.